On a healthy plate, the biggest part of it has to belong to vegetables. Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Sharova and welcome to Happy Bellyfish channel, the place to learn everything you need about healthy cooking and healthy eating. And today we are going to talk about vegetables and 10 amazing ways that you can enjoy them daily and don't even realize that you are eating vegetables. Usually there are two types of people. There are people who love vegetables and they always did, and there is also a group of people who hate vegetables. So whatever camp you belong to, at some point of your life you usually realize that it's time for you to make sure that you have enough vegetables on your plate. At least that's what all the doctors, nutritionists and healthy lifestyle bloggers are telling you. And I should say, they're right. On a healthy plate, the biggest part of it has to belong to vegetables. Since I've been running a healthy cooking school for quite a while, I've noticed a pattern of why people actually dislike vegetables. Usually it's because of their color or texture or their flavor intensity. Also, a lot of people find that vegetables don't give that satisfying feeling that, for example, animal-based foods give them or carbs like breads give them. So they're not really motivated to eat them. They don't feel so comfortable and satisfied after completing the meal. But I have to tell you that it all comes down to how you prepare it. If you prepare your vegetables right, then even the pickiest of eaters in your house might love them and might not realize that they're eating vegetables and completely change their opinion about this wonderful and healthy group of foods. So let's get started. Here are my 10 ways to eat and enjoy vegetables without realizing. Number 1. Try to mimic the foods that you love. For instance, everyone absolutely loves chips and crackers and those crispy things. And people believe that it's hard to achieve this texture with the vegetables. But it's really very far from the truth. It's very easy to prepare vegetable chips and you just take whatever you prefer. If you want kind of more neutral way, you can always take, of course, things like potatoes or sweet potatoes, but then you can become more adventurous and use, for instance, beets and carrots, slice them very thinly and bake them in the oven or use your dehydrator until they're super crispy. If your concern is their particular flavor, then I have to tell you that it's super easy to hide this vegetable flavor, for example, the earthy beet flavor. You just simply sprinkle some seasonings on top and certain spices. The spices that work the best in this case would be onion and garlic powder. You can also use prepared mixes and seasonings like curry powder or Cajun seasoning, for instance. We, by the way, on happybellyfish.com have free classes where you can learn how to make that seasonings, so you can go and check it out. The other great tip that you can use for hiding your vegetables is actually making burger patties from them. You can eat it in a burger or you can simply enjoy them as they are, as patties, or call them fritters. It's so easy to prepare. You can simply mix them with different types of favorite flours, or you can mix them even with cheese to make them more chewy. You can mix them with lentils. There is plenty of opportunities. You can also mix them with meat if this is what you prefer. It's just going to be hidden there. You are going to enjoy the vegetables, but you might not even understand that they're hidden inside. And if you want to take it a step further, then you can even just simply take an eggplant, cut a very thick piece of it and hide it in your burger or your sandwich. On our channel we have a recipe that teaches exactly that, how to simply make a wonderful veggie patty from an eggplant or a zucchini. I'm going to drop the links below so you are going to have access to all these recipes easily. Another wonderful way to sneak in some veggies is actually to make sweets with them. And you might be surprised how many desserts and how many baked cakes actually conceal vegetables inside. There are wonderful beetroot brownies, zucchini blondies, and carrot cakes or cupcakes that you can create. And if you're really worried that, hey, how's it? I want to make a healthy meal with more vegetables, but you're telling me to bake cakes? Yes, it's possible to make healthier cakes, put less sugar or put healthier sweeteners, and this is especially a great tip if you want to give more vegetable to your little ones. Nobody ever said no to a carrot cupcake. If you feel that the sweets and desserts is really not something you want to increase the consumption of in your diet, then you can also consider disguising some veggie pulp in the cookies. It can be as simple as mixing the oats with some carrot pulp or again zucchini pulp, and also adding spices, for example turmeric and garlic would work wonderfully, and simply bake them in the oven. Then you also don't have to use any oil at all, then it gets as healthy as it can be, and serve it with your favorite sauce. Serve it with your favorite homemade or store-bought mayo or ketchup. There are also wonderful healthy sauces that you can find in your local health stores, or prepare it yourself. As I mentioned at the beginning, one of the main things of what makes people dislike vegetables is actually its shape, right? Its shape and its look and its texture. I'm sure that if you go to a fine dining restaurant and they serve you a plate with extremely appealing pieces of beets and turnips and carrots, but just serve it as a piece of art, you'll happily pay $300 for that, and you will not even think twice that there is something wrong with what's served to you. So I suggest that you explore ways to make it more appealing also in your home, and luckily there are a lot of gadgets that we have nowadays that can help us with this. And here I'm talking about spiralizers. So these spiralizers make it possible for you to create noodles from the vegetables, and they're so delicious. It's also very easy to warm them up, and they will really taste like the proper pasta. We are having some wonderful recipes of zucchini pasta on our channel as well, and even if you don't have a spiralizer, there are still ways that you can cut your zucchinis in a beautiful, gorgeous shape and serve it with a favorite pasta sauce of yours, or simply add some parmesan on top with cherry tomatoes, and here you go. Does it really look like vegetables? But it is the vegetable. And as we are talking about pastas, this is my most favorite tip for you. Yes, again, especially for the picky eaters. I'm still to meet a person who doesn't like pastas, and especially to meet a child and a toddler who doesn't love pasta. Pastas must be the world's most famous and favorite type of a meal. So here is your chance to hide as many vegetables as you want. Pretty much any vegetables which is more subtle in flavor can be turned into a pasta sauce. And it's so simple to make it. You take the vegetable, you might or might not pre-cook it depending on what you use, and then you simply put it in a blender with aromatics, with spices, with herbs, with a bit of salt, a bit of olive oil, if you want some cashew nuts, or if you eat cheese and some parmesan, and your sauce is ready. And you have also so many opportunities to color your sauce here. If you use tomatoes as a base, it's red. If you use broccoli, zucchini, or spinach as a base, then it's green. You can also use cauliflower as a base for the sauce, and then it will become a wonderful creamy pasta. Just make sure that whomever you serve this pasta to never say the words healthy and vegetables, and they will not guess what they are eating. Another wonderful way to enjoy more vegetables actually comes from traditional cuisines. This is a type of a trick that's used all over the world in different cultures, in different shapes and combinations. I'm talking about pies and stuffed breads, and particularly stuffed flatbreads. So the trick about the pies is that it's usually some dough. It can be the classic pie dough, it can be even gluten-free dough made with rice flour, for instance, and you just put inside any vegetable combination that you love. And depending on what region I think of, simply everyone has some pies or dumplings where they actually hide vegetables inside. For instance, cabbage is a great filling for the pie, and this is a type of food, cabbage, that a lot of people dislike if it comes to them in a raw or in a boiled form. You can also put onions with carrots, and you can put mushrooms, and spinach is always the best thing to actually include in your pie. To be frank, there are no hard rules. Any vegetable you love or any vegetable you want to eat more of, you can hide in a piece of dough, fold it and turn it into a delicious veggie pie. If you're a person who eats a lot on the go and who loves, to grab breakfast and lunch to go, then it's possible that you're also eating a lot of sandwiches and wraps. And I'm pretty sure that already, if you love this type of foods, that there are some vegetables that are hidden inside. But if you're the one who can prepare it for yourself or for your loved ones in your family, then you have full control of how many things you're putting inside. To make it more interesting, to a normal wrap, just add a bit of more purple cabbage, for instance, or add slices of grilled zucchini or aubergine, or put some more bell pepper, or put some green vegetables that are never hidden inside. Maybe put some radish, and it will add a kick actually to your delicious wraps and sandwiches. Eating more vegetables is pretty much about just adding them in all your normal meals than you usually love. We talked about noodles made from zucchini, we talked about making sauces from pasta, but if you're the person who loves, for instance, Asian cuisine, I'm sure that you love stir-fried noodles as well, which are so simple to prepare. So you take a bunch of vegetables, you stir-fry them. See, literally just a couple of minutes, everyone can do that. And you put noodles on top. Your favorite noodles can be rice noodles, can be wheat noodles, can be udon noodles, or maybe even soba, buckwheat noodles, depending on what your preference is, and you mix it together, add soy sauce, vinegar, your favorite sauces, and here you go. You can really explore the Asian cuisines generally because it's a wonderful base when you just take rice or noodles and you add as many vegetables as you can, and just because of the delicious sauces that you mix with it, it really hides in the flavor of the vegetable that you might otherwise dislike. And my last tip is for those who are already a little bit used to the idea of eating raw veggies and kind of don't find it unappealing to see a lot of them on your plate. And I'm talking about the Buddha balls here. So of course you can also make delicious salads, everyone knows about it, but I also heard from many people that salads is something that everyone finds boring because it's not filling, there are flavors that are really raw. So what's the difference with Buddha ball? It's just the way that you present it. Buddha ball is your chance to actually make a real piece of art on your plate and go wild and to enjoy. So here it's also important to say about the process, yeah? If you make the Buddha ball yourself and you arrange vegetables in your plate the way you want it, and you also put other things like seeds or maybe some proteins like tofu or maybe some cottage cheese, whatever is your preference, you're also going to enjoy this ball more yourself. And it's a wonderful activity to do with your kids if it's something that you would love to consider. And as I'm coming to the end of the video, of course, there are also a lot of things that can help you love the vegetables. For instance, if you have a chance to grow some of them yourself, or just go to the gardens where they grow, to go to the farms, enjoy those trips, maybe pick them for yourself. Make more trips to the farmer's market. And you can also just make sure that you are surrounded by veggies everywhere. You have them on your table and you just can't avoid them. Maybe slowly you'll come into terms with the idea that vegetables are actually lovely and they're our best friend. I hope that this video will encourage you to experiment with veggies and to see how many opportunities for the dishes they give. All the ideas that I mentioned you can actually find on our channel. There are links in the description. Make sure to explore them and be curious. Perhaps you'll find out that vegetables is the most favorite food you actually were eating all along, but you just never realized that. Have a great day, enjoy your veggies, and I see you in the next video.